Hello and welcome to another casted game from this Player 3 matchup between Code and Maz. We're on the third game of three. So far it's 2-0 to Code, so the question of this game is going to be whether Code can go the distance and make it a 3-0 or Maz can turn things around and prevent the sweep. Maz is sticking with France for this game. We just saw Maz lose with France on Alaska. And now we are here in the lovely frozen Caroline Lakes, where there are two trade posts available kind of on your half of the map. One of those is very, very safe, right behind the TC, and one of those is kind of in the middle. And there is also a royal house. We've got Vaza ×2 at the top and bottom of the map. Mazen has switched over to... No, Code has switched over to China. The colours are going to confuse me. I hate when a Civ doesn't have the right colour for their actual flag. So Code has switched over to China for the third game, and it's got the lovely female explorer there, going to be doing some martial arts on that wolf to pick up the horseradish roots worth 40 food. And we're seeing China here opening with a trading post. Of course, they kind of need a village as well, otherwise they're going to get popped. So I think that means they had to chop quite a bit of wood. 200 wood or just 100? Please write in. What does China start with? Goodness me, I'm unprofessional. I should know that. But regardless, going to have these tea export, providing them with the early consulates. They're going to have an awful lot of infrastructure up at the 2-minute mark, but still a long way away from the 800 wood for the age up. So it's going to be quite a long H1 here for China. Meanwhile, on Maz's side, it's the same deck we saw before. It's Al Attack. It's quite versatile. Could be going for that sort of greedy 4 couriers instead of 700 gold fast FF. I really liked seeing that in the previous game. Could be going for some H2. Could be going for some for standard FF. Could be going for all sorts of things. Meanwhile, on the China side, I don't know what this means, but it's an FF, that's for sure. Beiyang army is available. Of course, I can't see the Beiyang army without thinking of Harrison. It's kind of become his brand of late. We've got a Sagia herd, that's kind of interesting. We've got the Manchu. We've got some hand mortars, that's kind of interesting. We've got 1,000 coin. I mean, China have so many viable H3 cards, so it's always kind of interesting. It feels a bit like a slot machine seeing what they're going to queue up. Meanwhile, we've got a little bit of 35 wood here, so there's loads and loads of really nice and easy one Guardian treasures in this map, especially in the middle and the sides. So absolutely opportunity for the explorers to kind of spend their time grinding, farming through those small treasures and just providing little extra resource boosts. Got France aging up with the governor, has gone for a transition market and hunting dogs, so it's going to be giving their eco a nice little early boost. Another 40 food coming in. Have also done a really good job of scouting. Would maybe like to see the native scout just dip into this area and figure out if there's an extra hunt there, because there is, and it's very important to know that. Actually, interesting to note, so look, and China's actually herded the hunt into line of sight. That's a funny coincidence. But I was going to say, interesting to note that that hunt is just on the edge of the line of sight. I wondered if that could have been important. We've got an outpost here. It's coming from... the outpost wagon has got a long way to walk. That won't be visible to the Chinese explorer. Well, it won't be visible to Chinese explorer because it's outside their line of sight. But even if they walked over there, that wouldn't be visible to the Chinese explorer until it's started building. So very little risk of that outpost getting denied. An early consulate switch here was on the French consulate, probably to provide the food crates, which is how China have been able to not have a disastrously long Age 1. Keep an eye on the consulate to see what that switches to. Another 300 export coming in, and the discount to the new relationship will be there in a moment. So that will probably be the point at which China choose their new consular ally. Other than that, we've just got 700 wood queued up. It's a completely bog standard FF. France, I'm expecting, based on the location of this tower, an rush, but actually no, it's going to be a tower FF because the 1200, 1000 is just about in there. Doing a nice job on the macro this time round. And the nice greedy 4 curs is in there as well. So we've seen 3 curs, 700 coin, and 4 curs, no 700 wood. So France just have the tower in terms of buildings. They've got the market. They could trade for the wood. Well, they can't really trade for the wood at the market because they haven't got much gold. But having to chop now to get this church down. Going to have to chop quite a lot in transition. Get houses, probably get at least 1 military building. And they're not going to have a long transition because they've chosen to go up fast here with the Exiled Prince. This church is going to come under pressure from the disciples, but not a lot can be done here. The disciples now choosing to harass these CDBs working on the wood. Kind of interesting. I wonder if... I don't really know how scary 5 disciples is, whether the CDBs could have decided to maybe fight that. We've got some red coats, so that means a British consulate was selected by China following up here. So a bit of early pressure, but France have safely made it to Age 3. I imagine that they're just going to be looking at shipping. Oh, we've got the old guard church card coming out again. Interesting. Maz choosing to sort of, if at first you don't succeed, try again, the same thing. Some people say that's the definition of madness, but we'll see how it works out here. Couriers into the TC to take some pop shots at these musketeers. Unfortunately, Code is smart with the distance and realizes that they can shuffle them over to the other side to get out of range, so the couriers are back out. A lot of wood getting chopped here. Still need some buildings. We've got 4 young guards, so that's the first tier of the church. We need 1,000 food for the middle guard. That'll get you up to 12 grens. 12 grens will be a scary force, but I assume China are going to be going up. Yeah, so China going to be going up to fortress themselves. Interestingly, this wasn't a pure FF. Semi-FF with lots of disciples. How many disciples is that? 9. So the build limit for Spanish War Dogs is only 5, but it looks like the build limit for disciples is quite a bit higher. Today I learned. Middle guard coming in now, so that's going to buff all these grenadiers. Let's watch what happens to their stats. Oh, I didn't see it. No change to HP. I didn't spot what happened to the attack. But China sort of perhaps recognizes what's going on. I don't know if they've spotted this outpost. They haven't, but decided to bring the army home anyway, and that's going to be good timing because it means we can have a bit of a fight here. Now, these disciples are going to do quite well because I think they're sort of nothing units. They're sort of hand infantry, shock infantry. So, yeah, the Grens won't get any... oh no, the Grens will get a massive penalty against shock infantry. So absolutely the right thing to deal with these Grens is this group of disciples. Mazen probably didn't expect those disciples to be so effective. Because, yeah, that's pretty much a wipe. And, yeah, again, this old guard, middle guard timing into China just not working out very effectively as the explorers there able to pick off the last... Oh, and another batch of disciples come out. And I think that's going to be the story of this game pretty much. It's got the players chatting away. Yeah, I'm very sorry to announce that those disciples count as shock infantry, and they are a very, very good counter to those Grens. So, let's see what China's actual plan is. Taking down this annoying outpost is a very good start. Of course, in terms of eco, the two sides are still pretty well matched. China up to the tune, really, of this army, which, if we look on the other side, France has just got a pretty sad-looking batch of 8 skirms. These redcoats are really, really good. They are better than veteran musketeers. They're more like kind of standard Age 4 revolutionaries almost. In fact, they've got more attack than that, so slightly better. Got a nice diverse army here now. We've got some heavy infantry, some light infantry, and the disciples, so shock infantry, fulfilling the role of cav. In terms of how China have set themselves up, they've got this white pagoda, which improves ships' disciples and improves the disciple train limit. That's probably why they were able to field so many, and improves the stats of the explorer. We've got the porcelain tower on mixed flavour. That's basically a factory. And we've got this war academy starting to churn out some conventional units. In terms of the Age 3 units, we've just seen intervention to get some more of those musks and the 10 skirmishers. Feeling pretty comfortable taking on this army, though. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about why France was pushing forward with these units. I don't think the timing was really in their favour there. Oh, and these poor skirms are going to get whittled down by the skirms and the Shaolin Master, the disciples, and the musketeers can just hang back and be completely safe from them. 7 hand mortars coming in now. Don't exactly know why. Maybe a bit of a blind send in case of 2 Falcons. Oh, having said that though, 2 Falcons is on the map, so an extremely good blind send. Going to be needing some more goons to defend those Falcons from the disciples anyway, and look, China's starting to tech into some heavy cav, some hand mortars. So I'm feeling bad. I'm feeling bad about Maz's chances of picking up the game here. Obviously, it's a tournament situation, so you're going to want to play out and see whether you can find an opportunity. But yeah, this isn't good. This army here there's enough cav. We've got, you know, I hate to use the word death ball because I think it's a bit of a cliche, but we've got such a lovely, like, mixed up army here from China that pretty much anything can find a counter in there. The Falcons are absolutely getting pinpointed by the hand mortars, but I don't think the hand mortars are even really necessary. There are enough cav and disciples in there to take those Falcons out very comfortably, and we've got a solid core of musketeers here backing it up. Still pretty close villager wise, 32 plays 27, although China have got the benefit of that factory, the porcelain tower. So actually a bit of an edge for China in terms of resource income, I would say. The goons being used well there to kite down some cav, but China does the right thing, just sends the cav to the back and lets the rest of the army deal with it. Oh, I would really have liked to see the cav actually properly go to the back there. Little bit of laziness from Code, I think, keeping the army just as one group. Hand mortars coming in, support that siege. Oh, they're such silly units, the hand mortars. They always make me laugh, but yeah, good to see them getting some value there on those houses. Here we go, the China army. It's just all been microed together into attack move, but I think this is a pretty safe fight for China. They've got the numbers advantage big time at this stage. A few extra supporting units coming in. It's kind of an interesting strategy here. Apart from the disciples, not really that many Chinese units trained as the GG comes in. mostly dependent on that synergy of those disciples and the redcoats in the early game. That worked really well. I guess it's kind of like shock infantry, heavy infantry. It's kind of a must-cast. So you would want to counter that with, goons, pikes. I guess France was showing a lot of goons, but the initial push of Grens was unfortunately just taken out really, really easily and for free. I'm not sure sending those in unaccompanied was quite the best idea. And yeah, from that it was pretty close, kind of eco-wise, territory-wise, but China just winning that one on the battlefield. I think they had the right compositions and they chose to take the early fights that they were absolutely advantaged in taking. And that's given them the win. So it's a 3-0 to Co-Defender. I don't know what that means for the rounds and the tournament structure, but GG's them, and I'll see you next time.